Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're shifting gears to explore the incredible world of mini marvels on four wheels, or sometimes even three. That's right, we're counting down the 8 smallest cars ever produced. From Italian classics to Japanese kei-cars, we've got a lineup that's small in size but big on charm. Stay tuned. The Fiat 500, a car that's almost as Italian as pasta, but way easier to park. Weighing in at just 1,100 pounds, this petite powerhouse first revved into the world in 1957. At a time when Italy was still recovering from the war, this car was designed to be the people's champion, answering the need for an economical ride. And economical it was. You could probably fuel it with your leftover espresso. Under the hood, or should we say under the hood-etti, was a 0.5-liter two-cylinder engine producing a whopping 13 horsepower. Yes, you heard me right, 13. This was connected to a 4-speed manual transmission that channeled all that raw power straight to the rear wheels. This car was so versatile that it was not just sold as a 2-door coupe, but also as a 3-door estate and panel van. Talk about having multiple personalities. The Fiat 500 took Europe by storm, setting sales records and making it to the Automotive Hall of Fame. Small but full of character, this car could weave through traffic as effortlessly as an Italian grandma weaves through a crowded marketplace. Bellissimo. Next on our list, crossing the seas from Italy, we land in Japan with the Daihatsu Fellow Max. This micro machine tipped the scales at just 1,091 pounds, almost making the Fiat look like a heavyweight. Born in 1966, the Fellow Max is a successor to the 1977 Max Core and was known in European markets as the 360. In an interesting twist, the makers decided to change from a rear-wheel drive layout to a front-wheel drive one, doing their bit to save on production costs while boosting fuel efficiency. This engineering wonder was propelled by a 0.356-liter ZM two-stroke inline-2 engine, producing 32 horsepower. That's right, 32 horses, practically a stampede compared to the Fiat 500, with its variety of body styles, a 2-door sedan, a 2-door pickup truck, and a 3-door van. The Fellow Max was as versatile as a Swiss Army knife. If you needed to nip to the store or move a particularly small piece of furniture, this car had you covered. A 4-speed manual transmission made sure all that power got to the front wheels, making this tiny titan a darling of its time. All right, folks, fasten your seatbelts, or maybe just a bungee cord, because up next is the Renault Twizy. Weighing in at just 992 pounds, this French phenomenon is basically a quad bike that decided to put on a tuxedo, introducing it at the 2009 Frankfurt Motor Show as a futuristic concept. The Twizy did lose some of its space-age charm when it hit the market in 2012, but don't let that fool you. The Twizy comes with 4 wheels, because 3 is so last year. 2 doors, and an electric drivetrain. The little fella houses an Iskra asynchronous motor that pushes out 17 horsepower and can zoom up to 50 mep. Who says size matters? Oh, and did I mention it became Europe's top-selling plug-in electric vehicle in 2012? That's like being the shortest player in the NBA and leading in dunks. Aesthetically, the Twizy might look like a rejected prop from a sci-fi movie, but it's a real winner when it comes to giving you bang for your buck. So if you're in the market for something that's more than a bike but less than a car, the Twizy is your jam. And now for a car that you might wish to unsee, introducing the Reva G-Wiz. Hailing from India and weighing a feather-light 882 pounds, this electric marvel is often called the worst electric car ever produced. Yes, it's that special. In European markets, it was so impressive that it was classified as a heavy quadricycle. I'm not kidding. It couldn't even qualify as a car. Under the hood, or whatever you'd like to call that small compartment, the G-Wiz didn't offer much to write home about. It couldn't go on a large number of European highways due to its less than stellar crash test results. I mean, who needs highways when you're topping the charts in, well, nothing. If you're wondering why anyone would buy this car, I'm right there with you. But every underdog has its day, and the G-Wiz has carved out its own, unique space in automotive history. It's like the embarrassing yearbook photo that you can't help but look at. It's terrible, but it's also terribly interesting. Vespa, When you hear that name, you probably think of those stylish Italian scooters zooming through narrow Roman streets. But hold on to your helmets, because Vespa once dabbled in the car game too. Behold the Vespa 400, a car so lightweight at 827 pounds it probably thought it was still a scooter. Making its grand debut in none other than Monaco, the Vespa 400 was not some souped-up moped. Nope, it was engineered from the get-go to be a bona fide car. With a 0.4-liter inline-two engine pumping out a glorious 14 horsepower, this compact cruiser could reach speeds of up to 55 km/h. Imagine being overtaken by a Vespa, not on two wheels, but four. The Vespa 400 strayed from the typical microcar blueprint of being an upgraded motorcycle or quad bike, charting its own course. If other microcars are covers of famous songs, then the Vespa 400 is an original composition, filled with notes of Italian flair and practical design. It's the La Dolce Vita of microcars. Next up, we have the egg-shaped wonder, the Velam Isetta. This Italian marvel was so lightweight at 705 pounds, you'd half expect it to float away. Nicknamed the bubble car, this wasn't just a car you drove, it was a car you wore. Imagine strapping into this and suddenly becoming the most aerodynamic egg on the road. With an astonishing fuel economy of 94 mph, it was the Prius of its time, before being green was even a thing. This led it to sell an incredible 161,728 units worldwide, making it the best-selling single-cylinder car of its era. I mean, who needs more than one cylinder when you're rolling around like an eco-friendly Humpty Dumpty? Under its rounded shell was a 0.236-liter engine, generating 9.5 horsepower. This mid-mounted engine powered the Isetta's single rear wheel through a 4-speed manual transmission, which, yes, also had a reverse. So not only could it roll, but it could also back it up. Let's dive into something that isn't just a car, it's an experience. Introducing the Goggomobil Dart, the car so feather-light at 480 pounds, you might as well tie it to your ankle as a fashion statement. Now, imagine a sports car where the sports part is more about gymnastics than speed, because, get this, there are no doors. To get inside this German-Australian spectacle, you have to leap over its side like you're competing in the high jump. Under its hood, or maybe we should say, under its handkerchief, you'll find a two-stroke straight twin engine. The base model pumps out a roaring 15 horsepower, but for the thrill seekers among us, you can upgrade to a 0.4-liter engine, juicing up to 20 horsepower. Either way, you could reach top speeds of 65 mph, which feels more like 650 mph when you realize you're basically driving an oversized roller skate. Whether you see it as freeing or a safety hazard, driving the Dart is not for the faint-hearted. It's like riding a roller coaster, minus the tracks and the safety regulations. Oh, and don't forget, this is a roofless car. So if you're having a bad hair day, maybe opt for a different ride. Last but not least, bow down to the Guinness World Record holder for the smallest production car ever, Peel P50. Weighing a staggeringly low 130 pounds, this car doesn't just fit into a parking space, it fits into your living room. Built in 1962 by the Peel Engineering Company on the Isle of Man, it was intended to transport one adult and a shopping bag. That's right, choose wisely between your best friend and your groceries. The P50 features a mini-me 0.05-liter single-cylinder engine, churning out an astronomical 4.3 horsepower. What it lacks in power, it makes up for in rarity and price. Only 50 were ever made, and one of these little gems sold at a Sotheby's auction for a jaw-dropping $176,000 in 2016. It's like collecting rare Pokemon cards, but instead of fitting in your pocket, it fits in your pantry. Oh, and let's talk about its 3-speed manual transmission that, believe it or not, lacks a reverse gear. But don't worry, if you get stuck in a tight spot, you can simply get out and pull it back using a strap. It's like a pull toy for adults with expensive taste. And there you have it, folks. The smallest, quirkiest, and most fascinating microcars to ever hit the road, or barely hit it, depending on how you look at it. Whether you're into Italian elegance or German engineering, these cars offer a compact slice of automotive history. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awe-inspiring lists.